All right, for systems of equations for word problems, if we have one rate and a starting amount, then it's going to be in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And our rate is our slope, and our b is our y-intercept, or our starting amount. And some words that tell us about rate, you'll often see the word per. That indicates that there's a variable after that, which means that's our rate. And I'll give you an example. And we also have another one though. It's two. If you have two rates and a total, then that's going to be in standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. So in other words, you're going to have two variables there. So an example could be like 4x plus 8y equals 100. That would be an example if you had two rates. You're going to have two variables. Whereas here in y equals mx plus b, you only have one rate. And that one could be like y equals 4x plus 80. You had a test score of 80, and as you studied, each hour you studied, you earned four extra points. And x stood for the number of hours you studied. That could be an example for that. All right, so let's look at an example. For Nico and his brother Noah, they each have savings for college, and it says that they had a balance of $2,000. That's our starting amount. That's our B, or our y-intercept. And then we're depositing an additional $50 per month. See that word per? That indicates it's a rate. So that's our slope. And I'm just going to write that equation. So it tells me it's y equals mx plus b because it's only one rate. And that one would be y equals, it's $50 per month, so it would be 50x plus 2,000. This means the initial balance was 2,000, our y-intercept, and then $50 per month. And I'm going to write that x stands for the number of months, and y stands for the moolah, the dollars. All right, let's check out our other equation. Our other equation is, at the same time, Noah's account had a balance of $1,600. That's our B, starting amount. And the rate is $100 per month. That word per tells us that's a rate. So that's our slope. So that's going to be y equals 100x plus 1,600. And then I would just solve that either graphing it. I could graph it, type it in my calculator under y equals. I might need to adjust my window and make it big enough for these values. I would adjust my y max to make sure it was at least bigger than 2,000. Or I could use substitution. So I'm going to show substitution right now. So y is this. So I'm going to plug that in for this y. So it would be 50x plus 2,000 equals 100x plus 1,600. And then for substitution, I need to solve for x. So I want to get my x on the same side, so I do minus 50x minus 50x. Those cancel. I would get 50x plus 1,600 equals 2,000. And then to solve for x, to get x by itself, I need to kick out the 1,600. I'd subtract 1,600 to both sides. And I would get 400 equals 50x. Divide by 50. And x is going to be 8. And 8 stands for the number of months. And what did the question say? Predict when. It wanted to know the time. So when is 8 months. If they wanted to know how much money it would be, then I would have to plug in the 8 back into the equation. And if I did that, 8 times 100, I'll just do that mentally. 8 times 100 would be 800, plus 1,600 would be $2,400. So if they wanted the y, it would be $2,400. All right, let's do a different type. I just did one that has slope-intercept form. Let's do one that has standard form. All right, check out this question. You're selling tickets for a high school play. Student tickets cost $4, and general admission tickets cost $6. And you sell 525 tickets and collect $2,876. How many of each type of ticket did you sell? I'm looking at that and I see two rates. The rate for students and the rate for general admission tickets. So since there's two rates, it's going to be standard form, ax plus by equals c. All right, so it's going to be, my first equation is going to be using money. So just looking at the money numbers, I see $4, $6, and $28.76. So I'm going to write an equation just with money. And that would be $4 for each student ticket, plus $6 for each general admission ticket, equals a total of $2,876. And there I let the S be the number of student tickets, and I'm letting G be the number of general admission tickets. So always establish what your variable is. All right, so the second equation is going to be about tickets. And the only indication they give me here is there's a total of 525 tickets. It doesn't tell me like there's twice as many student tickets as general admission. It doesn't give me any other information. It just tells me the total. So the total goes over here, 525. And I can just write my variable, since it didn't give me any other information, S and G. And now I'm going to use either substitution or elimination. I'll show elimination this time. So elimination, we want to make sure that one of our variables cancels using the least common multiple. So looking at 4 and 1, remember these are both 1, I could just multiply that by -4. So then I'm going to get -4s, if I distribute that -4 to everything, -4g, and -2100. Now I'm done with that equation because I've already distributed it out. So I'm done with that, and I replaced it with the -4s equation. So now I'm going to combine these two equations by adding, and 4s minus 4s cancels or eliminates, so that's going to be nothing. 6g minus 4g gives me 2g. Sounds like Wi-Fi, doesn't it? And then 2876 minus 2100 gives me, or data speed rather, so 2876 minus 2100 gives me 776. And then I'm going to divide by 2. And I get general admission is going to be $388. Actually, I take that back. That stands for the number of tickets. So it's going to be 388 tickets. So now to find out how many student tickets there were, I'm going to plug in my general admission tickets back into this easiest equation. The easiest one was S plus G equals 525. So S plus G equals 525. I'm going to plug back into that equation, and it would be S plus 388 equals 525, and I would just subtract 388 to both sides, and I would get S equals 137. So student tickets are 137. Then I've answered that question. So just remember, if you have two rates, you want to do standard form. And if you have one rate, you want to do slope-intercept form. That wraps it up.